Hello, I am Whitney Ortiz with the Whole Health series. I am so glad to have you all here with us. This series convenes women leaders from around the world who share tips, tools, and strategies for how today's women professionals can feel better, enjoy a greater quality of life, and have enhanced capacity to be able to lead with compassion, both at work and at home. I am so grateful that Ozioma Egwuonwu was here to share her wisdom and vision with us. Ozioma is an internationally celebrated speaker, strategist, scholar, and expert in transformational strategy and systems change. She is the Chief Strategic Transformation Officer at BurnBright International, which is a transformational training, coaching, and consulting company that specializes in the development and activation of exponential potential. Ozioma consults on transformational initiatives for a diverse array of clients, including governments, Fortune 100 companies, nonprofit organizations, educational institutions, small businesses, and growth-oriented early-stage startups that are seeking breakthrough results. In 2012, Ozioma founded World Dream Day, which is celebrated annually on September 25th and is the first ever global holiday dedicated to activating ideas, goals, and dreams. Thank you, Ozioma, for being with us.
Thank you so much, Whitney. It's my pleasure. I'm so excited for the conversation that we're going to have today.
Within your transformational work with individuals, organizations, and businesses, you speak about the dramatic evolution that is happening at a quickened pace around the world now, and that women leaders especially are increasingly heeding a call to step forward more visibly and create the new structures and systems that will take humanity into a new paradigm. What is this call that individual leaders, as well as organizations and companies, are being invited, encouraged, asked to respond to?
Yeah, Whitney, I truly believe that women leaders are being invited to step into the next level of our leadership. I think that there are so many opportunities and spaces where that women, that feminine lens, that womanist lens is needed and necessary. And we're seeing it, especially now, during this moment that we're in, this unique experience that is the pandemic. When you think about it, it's really about the combination of wholeness and really seeing from the whole unified perspective. It's also about seeing, feeling, and leading from a compassionate space, a more empathetic space. And we see that so wonderfully done with the leadership of Jacinda Ardern, in New Zealand, and her leadership has just been so amazing. In addition to that, what I'm also seeing as the invitation is an invitation to really, take the gloves off and be bolder, really not hold back anymore. And I think, Marianne Williamson is an example of that level of leadership where it's like, what, I don't care if I win or if I lose, I'm in the game fully, I'm showing up fully, and I'm going to be the speaker of what I need to speak in order to awaken more and more people to greater possibilities. And of course, my favorite example of this type of leadership and this invitation to this call is, in fact, Shirley Chisholm, the woman who, ran for the Democratic Party in 1970, in the 1970s. And right before that, she was the first Black woman to be elected into Congress. And so, think about it, right? In 1968, I get elected. And then in, I think, 1972, I'm running for president. So this is about that boldness that says we're no longer going to wait. We are going to really, step it up a notch and fully immerse ourselves in bringing forth what it is that we carry, our wisdom, our gifts, our insights, and no longer holding back and being shy about it because the world needs it now. And I really believe that that is the type of leadership, the bolder, more compassionate, and a holistic lens on what is possible, and the willingness to fully step in and to lead in the ways that only we as women can.
Yes, and many are heeding that call to do so, and sometimes needing that encouragement, that inner strength, that getting over the fears. How do you recommend, or how do you see women being able to do that?
In terms of getting over those fears and really
and really stepping boldly.
You know, whenever I work with women, especially women leaders, there's a couple of different frameworks that I like to use. But one of them that I feel has been so successful in supporting women leaders to truly rise and shine is this four kind of what I call the 4C framework, and with a bonus C, right? So it's really about getting clear about what is it that your vision, you know, for the future truly is about, not only for yourself, but what is truly possible. So doing the work to get clear. I think we underestimate the importance of clarity, right?
Mm-hmm.
The next C is about compassion, because once we are truly clear about what's at stake and what the vision that we hold truly is for what's possible, we begin to engage our heart, right? And our passions, and that sense of possibility that rises when we say, wow, I'm ignited by this possibility, and now I'm bringing my compassion to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
The next C is the C of connection, right? Realizing that we cannot do it alone. And I think more and more women are realizing that in order for us truly to make the great changes that are needed, it is about making those connections. It is about that intersectionality, not just about, you know, connections out there and moving and shaking and, you know, networking, which has been kind of like the, you know, par for the course and what's been recommended, but it's about connecting within yourself, that nature of authentic alignment. Connecting the mother that you are, connecting the girlfriend that you are, connecting the passionate, you know, bibliophile that you are, if you're a passionate about books or film, like all the parts of you that you bring to be able to create that change, that is so essential. And another C that's important is courage, which we've been talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really saying, okay, I have that clarity.
Mm-hmm.
I have that compassion. I'm truly getting connected to myself and to others. And now I'm building up that courage to stand up and be seen, that courage to make the difference that only I can. And it all comes together in that the generation of the possibility. Because when we step up in those ways and we're truly authentically aligned from within, and then there's another level of alignment actually that's about once you are aligned, right, with your purpose and the clarity, then you have to align yourself with the possibility that you seek to create in the world. Because there's often times where we may feel like we are clear, but we're not activating ourselves in the right spaces and places. And that gift that we bring can be squandered. So I always advise women to really get a sense of the lay of the land, you know, because we're here bringing all our gifts. I want to make a difference. I want to make a difference. But if you want to make that difference and the space where you're trying to make it cannot truly hold you, or you haven't fully assessed it in a way where you're strategically making that difference, then it's really a disheartening thing. And we've all been there, right? We've all been there wanting to interject and wanting to connect and wanting to contribute. And we haven't always done our homework. And so I'm always really recommending that we align what it is that we seek to give, and we truly create that external alignment in the territories where we know that we can actually make that difference. And when that alignment, that authentic alignment within and outside is there, then so much more is possible.
Yes, this really speaks to the whole systems change. It's the system of ourselves, mind, body, spirit, that whole health, as well as the systems in which we live, work, and operate.
Mm-hmm.
And at times when we have an innovative idea or some kind of innovation we want to put out in the world, where the timing may not seem right to the masses, but yet there is something that can just start the shift. And then with the collaborations, as you're saying, across systems and structures, new systems and structures can form. New innovation that is transformational can happen. Can you speak a bit more to that?
Well, I think that, you know, when we truly key in on that authentic level of alignment and that true nature of what it is that we seek to generate, right, to manifest, to have happen in the world, it becomes like a compass whereby which we are led. And it's also an attractor, because people will begin to be attracted to your energy, what you are exuding as a leader. And you yourself, with that authentic alignment, you'll be navigating the world and knowing where to go, how to show up, what to do. And it won't be about what we see so often, which is it being externally imposed, right? Who do I need to be for others? It truly is about you being able to connect to who and what you truly are, and having that authentic energy be the compass that guides how you move in the world and how you serve. And that is so important, because it's very easy to look at what's projected on our computer screens or our television screens out in the world of who we think we're supposed to be, as opposed to really nurturing the inner flame, the inner light, like I like to call it, in that language of burning bright, really cultivating and enhancing that from within. And that will be then what enables us to show up so fully and make our full contribution. Because I think so many women especially are doing the half fractured contribution, right? The light, the energy is being fractured by all of these concerns, to the point where you're saying all of these fears. But when we truly are in alignment, it's like this powerful, what I like to call an emanation. We are emanating with the energy of our purpose. We are emanating with our passion, with our gifts. And that itself is casting this powerful energy, right, of contribution out into the world and attracting those who we know are truly meant to show up for us and who we're truly meant to be attracting. And it's this beautiful dance of co-creation.
Yes, indeed. And where we are really carrying forward that inspired action into new realms, it is transformational in how we appear, how we connect, how we are able to work within societies that may continue to try to push down that forward movement. And when you sense that resistance, how do you share with individuals, organizations, and companies when it is time to push through resistance, or when it is time to perhaps pivot, but try still to move forward?
Yeah, that's a powerful question because, resistance is always present. We're never going to get away from whenever, especially when you're dealing with innovation. A lot of times when I'm working with, businesses and different types of leaders that are tasked with innovating new pathways of possibility, you're always going to have that resistance. Some people call it the organizational immune system, right? It's like, wait, what's going on here? Wait. The cultural immune system, especially when I was working at the local community, resistance was everywhere. And I always remind people that whenever resistance is present, we have to go back to the larger story, what I love to call the higher dream. Because once you remember and you're truly aware of what this is all for you, what is the what, it allows you to be able to dance with that resistance and to mitigate it. Because you're able to speak into possibility where all of our eyes can now begin to be trained and getting on one accord. Because what happens is that when we enter into a system or we interact with people and we feel that resistance, it's because that individual or that organization or that system is held on to what they believe are the old ways, how we do things around here. And it's like a tight fist, right? And the only way in which we allow ourselves and that gift that we give to the system or to that individual is little by little, right? Giving insights and awareness and opportunity to open the hands, to relieve that resistance, to become more available. And so I often say you have to understand the higher vision, and you also have to be able to speak. Your language has to be able to modify so you are speaking in a way that they can hear. You're helping them release the resistance because you're inviting them into a greater opportunity that is not about them having to relinquish their reality, but it's about them making space and releasing it willingly. And every great change is often kind of like galvanized by that greater possibility and the releasing of what was in order to step into, that larger story.
Yes. And it is creating those little openings through which the light shines, and then it can expand and expand. So the persistence is so key, and where we all need to recognize that we are here in this moment for a reason. Even those who are listening to you right now are listening for a reason, and your messages will carry them forward in ways that even in that moment they cannot fully imagine where it could go. And so being with that can just be a profound taking, for ourselves to carry us forward.
Yeah. I mean, we're always where I truly do believe that we are called and we are invited. There's always this call. The question is, are we willing to answer it, right? And when we look at and we listen to the calls that we're being called, and when we say, okay, I'm going to answer this call, I'm going to answer this invitation, I'm going to step in fully, And so the words that I'm speaking right now, as well as the words that you're speaking right now, they're going to be resonating at certain frequencies where people begin to pay attention to their bodies, begin to pay attention to what's happening. And also then ask themselves, right, that inner question, which leads to the quest. I always say every quest is fueled by a question. And that question of what is available for me here? What am I being invited to now go out and do in the world as it relates to authentic alignment, as it relates to the higher dream, as it relates to accelerating in ways that create new exponential possibilities in the world? That really starts with me getting clear on my purpose and my desired contribution.
And it all starts with one person who listens and acts upon that call. And that one person who really needs to nourish herself, I'll say, in terms of speaking with and for women leaders here, how to best nourish oneself to then have the capacity to be able to make those decisions, to be able to have the health, wellness, and well-being, because you can't fall apart when you are out to create and bring forth innovation, right? How do you recommend when you're working with women leaders in various forms, local, national, international?
Yes. I mean, there's so many different ways, and each of us have to also honor the fact that we come with our different cultural traditions, right? I was born in Nigeria. I was raised in New York. And now I'm here living in Lisbon, Portugal. And each experience of my life has had a different cadence. And as an African woman, and as an American woman, and now as an expat woman, what are the needs, right? What does the environment provide for me? And what am I making sure that no matter where I am providing for myself? And so part of that to me is definitely a meditative, I would say either a meditation practice or contemplative practice. For me, I journal every single day. And very often I am meditating every day, but even if I'm not meditating every day, I am writing and releasing every single day. And that is a practice that has really been powerful for me. Other things like being able to pay attention to the cycles of the moon, you know what I mean? And connecting with moon cycles, lunar cycles, right? Being able to connect with nature. I'm always going out into the parks and making sure, whether it's by the beach and the water, but making sure I'm being connected to the different elements so that I can be able to balance my own energy. And the other piece that I would say is really being able to be vulnerable with your girlfriends, or guy friends, or whoever you call your people. Having people that you can rely on, that you can talk straight to, that you can really share what's up for you, and that you can also receive from them. There's this term that I love recently that I've been hearing so much and that I've also been using about pouring into. Letting people pour into you, right? Allowing yourself to be poured into as a woman and being nourished by that energy. When someone pours into you and you feel that energy and you begin to feel galvanized by your possibility because they're giving you that energy and you're taking that in, there's nothing like it. And so pouring into others and allowing yourself to be poured into is a great gift and a great practice.
And with the power of technology, where women today can connect to new communities around the world and thus have those kinds of transformational experiences. So seeking that out, takes the positive intention to contribute and to receive with gratitude. So community takes on whole other forms, but that can really be such a power, inducer for us to be able to have the courage, the persistence to overcome the resistance and to create that innovation.
And multiple communities, right? Like I have different communities of women that serve me and that I serve in different ways. And you want to be able to have and be intentional with the communities so that all of you is nourished. I think sometimes we expect it's only going to be one community or one style, but you really should be thinking about what are the diverse communities that I can be a part of or that I can create and co-create so that we're all supported in the many ways that our many selves show up.
Indeed. Thank you, Ozioma. I encourage everyone to follow your writings, your work, your leadership. How can they get in touch with you and learn more?
Well, they can find me on Facebook as well as LinkedIn. LinkedIn is like my platform of choice. So I'm always kind of there, but you know, my fan page on Facebook. They can also Instagram at Ozioma. It's very simple there. And, you know, if you do connect on on LinkedIn, definitely just send me a notice and we'll be connected there, as well as my website, right? BurnBright-lifeworks.com. You can learn more of my work there. And worlddreamday.org is another initiative that I am very passionate about, that I created in 2012, that's really serves to hold the dreams of all of us. And also there's always a specific role for women, and many women leaders have spoken and have presented, including, you know, Dr. Jean Houston for World Dream Day on behalf of the higher dream. And so that's also an invitation for them to learn more through worlddreamday.org.
Thank you so much, Ozioma, for creating these spaces, these systems and structures, and encouraging and supporting others through their own spaces to move forward in this tremendous time. Thank you very much.
Well, you're so welcome. It's been such a wonderful time to be with you here today, Whitney. And I just want to acknowledge and thank you for convening this amazing experience where this wisdom can be shared. Not only my wisdom, but all of the women that have been speaking as part of this experience. And I'm just so honored and grateful to be able to share and to allow the movement that is women rising up and reaching more of our full potential, because that is what this is all about.
Indeed. Thank you.